So I have bad news for Ape Nation. The ape trade may be looking to continue to fade lower. I have some option activity I'm going to share with you where we saw some put buying yesterday that is paying off, and we're seeing a little bit more accumulation today. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to crash, but right now we're seeing the slope of hope. So we'll cover some of that activity and some of the thinking behind what's going on with AMC and this, possibly why, this is just something that that's it's going to fade into the sunset. So my name is Joshua Bellinger of Countervest. Head over to countervest.com. Sign up for my daily emails. If you're seeing this on YouTube, like it, subscribe. But I also have videos that I don't share, and we only publish them and provide them through email. So head over to countervest.com. So what we saw yesterday, I'm going to go through this activity here. I wasn't able to get it out, but the thing that caught my attention here is these December 34 puts, and there's a big buyer that came in and bought these contracts here. So there's a lot of two-sided trading on this one, and if we just come and take a look at today, we could see that those 34s there, not all of them stuck, but 8,000 total from yesterday. So what was it from yesterday? It was, so it looks like 2,000 of these traded and added to it. Some of this could have been closing as well. But what we're seeing as well is we're seeing some more activity on the put side here. Okay, so we're taking a look here at the daily chart here, and on the daily, we're breaking some key levels here on this. So this is a lot of momentum traders follow this 21 and this 8, or the 21 moving and the 10-day moving, and we broke below there. So typically, when we get a cross of the 10 over the 21, that's a confirmation of a essentially short. If it were the other direction, it's a confirmation of getting long, and that's just what short-term traders are looking at. So this is a weekly time frame, and that's very key on the weekly time frame. If we look at the daily, which you want to take different time frames, we could see that already happened, and it happened back here, where this you get the moving averages sloping lower here. So when we look at the 1 year on the daily here, we are getting into the Bollinger Bands, and we probably and possibly could see a bounce off that level here. So yes, maybe the trade is over for, we possibly could see, these pops higher here. But if we just take a look back at these pops, it's almost kind of like a rolling hills. You got the big initial pop here and pulled back, faded off, rolled over. And then we got a little bit of a pop there, started to turn a little bit, got a lot of excitement here, and just really had no follow through and broke down lower, and then now we're getting these kind of lower lows. Now some people are going to say, well, this is a pennant, a triangle that's forming here. You can see it on the weekly a little bit here, and that this is going to break out to the upside. I don't know. If I'm looking to put a position on here, and what I'm doing or looking to do is I would wait for that initial short covering. You're going to get people that are up on their position, and you're going to see some of that short covering. And that's where people are looking to lay back into those. The shorts are going to look, new positions are going to look to lay into those spikes higher here. So when we look at overall at AMC, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there's just nothing exciting about it. It's right now we have more concerns of a new variant coming out, and it's going to put more fear on people that don't want to go out. Yes, they've tried different things, but it's the same thing that's what's happening in the fitness sector right now. There's just a lot of people who don't want to go back to the gym for whatever reason that is. And it's the same thing that's with these public venues as well that we're seeing is this psychology that's happening. Now, yes, there are people, and this is the other part of it, there are retail traders who have positions here. Are they going to continuously hold? They're not going to hold forever. There's other things working right now. You got Ether breaking out. You have other stocks that are going to come into focus where that unity that happened before was like, yeah, we're in this together. But yeah, once you start seeing red on your screen, that unity starts to change, and you also see different opportunities. So right now, I would have to look at the overall euphoria of this, but I would have to think to myself, if I had to take a gauge of most of the people that have bought AMC, they are probably down, or at least at this point, down just a tad. I wouldn't suspect that many of them at this level are up. Unless they got in at these levels here at $10 and then spiked on the spike here to 26, I just don't think that these people who have bought, the retail traders that have bought here. The unfortunate thing is that this is this money tied up in AMC where there's other opportunities available. This is called dead money. And for the retail traders, this is not advantageous. You just don't want to sit in money. It's not paying a dividend. It's not doing anything. You're just speculating. And if you're going to speculate, you want to speculate on something that is moving. So what's interesting still is that even when we look out into January expiration, which is 52 days away, if we take a look here at the 15 delta, that's an 80 strikes. So that's nearly $46 out of the money versus when you take a look here on the put side, we look at the 16 strike, there's a 16 or 14, that's either $10 or $11 out of the money on the put side. Now, typically, we see that in the opposite direction. So what this indicates to us is that volatility, the fear or the risk, the market's still pricing for a possible squeeze. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. That just means that there's more fear in the marketplace for a violent squeeze higher versus a massive sell-off. Now, take that for what it is. Does it mean that we're going to see that violent short squeeze? Probably not. I mean, when we take a look here at the chart, we just continuously see it kind of fade and fade and fade. What's going to be the next catalyst? Everything, all that energy that has been compounded in there has been released. Unless they get a takeover. But this is a company that's not going to get a takeover. I mean, they lost a massive amount of money. I forgot what the last quarter was, but this is a company that's just, again, we can make all the cases about why it should stay around, but that's not how businesses work. It's just, it's an interesting trade to look at and what we're seeing here. And I think you possibly see and keep an eye on the puts and the put side of the marketplace where we can continuously see more positioning going into, I wouldn't say the end of the year here, you probably see a bounce, but I would say beginning of January, we start to see that continuation and that fading lower and lower. So really, it's a tough trade in AMC right now. It's tough to be long, and it is tough to be short. So what would I suggest? Just go on to the next opportunity. There's not anything going on in here. You want to be in the hot stocks, not the stock that everyone talks about or was in, and you're just now in it because what reason? So that's what I have for you today. And if there's a trade in AMC, I don't see one right now. We did talk about previously in AMC doing a call ratio, which is buying a call and selling two above it. That could be a possible way of how to play a pop higher. That would be the best case. I'll link that video in below here, but we talked about that a couple weeks ago. But that would be the best play. Looking for some kind of bounce here, because if this does sell off aggressively, there will be some short covering, and you get some of those buyers coming back in, looking for the momentum back in here. But I just don't see the momentum, coming back to the levels that we had seen before this big, massive pop higher. So that's what I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.